Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Hey friends, welcome back to the Language Tutor Spanish series. I'm your profesor de español, Danny Evans. Well, I have a lesson for you in this episode that I think you're going to find very interesting and helpful. And it's a viewer request. But before I get into that, I just want to stop very quickly and just say a very, very big thank you, gracias, muchísimas gracias, to so many of you who have donated to the Language Tutor channel lately. Just to name a few, some of our Language Tutor friends, Dat Win, Renee Kellaway, Mark Carter, Young Hee Byun, and Sheila Gami, and Dinara Nefedova, and Thomas Gilmore, and there are so many others. I just want to say thank you so much. Everybody on our Language Tutor team, we're all so grateful for you. Yes, it's me, it's Robin who teaches English, and there are other people behind the scenes that help us with the website and the channel. And we just all really appreciate you. And thank you very much for your support. All right, with that, let's jump right into the lesson. Now, this lesson is a viewer request, and we're going to be talking about the verb gustar. Yeah, gustar. And, a couple of people said, hey, can you do a video on gustar? And I thought to myself, I know I've talked about it in a previous lesson somewhere a long time ago, but I thought, hey, let's do a lesson dedicated just to this verb, just so we can look at it specifically and how it functions. Now, the verb gustar is the verb that we use to express somebody likes something or someone. So this is how we say we like something in Spanish. Only problem is it doesn't mean like. It does not mean like. So we have to think about this verb differently, okay? Let me just give you an example right here. We see that gustar is an AR verb. Now, if I wanted to say, for example, I like your car, well, I can't use this as I would a normal AR verb. I cannot say this. I can't say, yo gusto tu carro. This does not work. It doesn't work. And this does not mean I like your car. It means the opposite. It's weird. It just doesn't work. So we have to understand, yes, we can conjugate it, gustar, as a normal AR verb, but we can't use it the same way, okay? So we have to think about this a little bit backwards. So once I tell you what the verb means, I think you're going to get it. The verb gustar actually means to please. To please. So you can see if I were to conjugate it and say, yo gusto tu carro, I'm saying I please your car. It's like your car likes me or something. It really doesn't make any sense. So let's think about it backwards. Now, that might be a little confusing. It's okay. Once I get a few examples, you're going to, a couple examples up here on the screen, you're going to be going, oh, okay, this is starting to make sense. First thing I want to do, though, is I want to put up the chart and remind you of indirect object pronouns. Me, te, le, nos, os, and les. These all tell us to whom a verb is done. Okay, so if a verb is done to me, it's going to be me. And if it's done to you, it's going to be te. If it's done to him, to her, or to you respectfully, it's going to be le. If it's done to us, it's going to be nos. If it's done to you, plural, in Spain form, it's going to be os. I'm going to use les to express something is done to them or to you, plural, that universal form of, the ustedes form. So those are what indirect object pronouns do. Now, just a reminder that these typically go in front of the verb, okay? We don't put them after the verb. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work. So with that in mind, now that we know that those little reminders, we have those back in our heads, we can sort of put this into action. So First thing we want to do is I want to put the chart for gustar on the screen. So they're normal conjugations. Gusto, gustas, gusta, gustamos, gustáis, and gustan. Conjugate them normally. So we don't have to worry about anything weird with those. But you have to remember that this means please. So I please, you please, he pleases, she pleases, you please, etc., etc. But I want to remind you that when an it does a verb, an object is doing the verb, we use the conjugation on the bottom left, the same as the he and she conjugation, just like we do in English. You know, I've used the example before. Does that car run? Yes, it runs. Okay, and that's the same conjugation for he runs, she runs. You know, we put that S on there in English. So in Spanish, we're doing the same thing. We're using the he and she form to say it does the verb. So it pleases would be gusta. Now look on the bottom right. If a they, something plural, does the verb, we use gustan. Okay, so if I'm talking about they people do this, or they an object, plural object, it's going to be gustan. Okay, now let's put it into context. Let's go back to that example, I like your car. First thing we're going to do is we're going to say the I like part. And we're going to say, it pleases me. But remember, we can't put the me, the me, after the verb. It's got to go in front. So it's going to look like this. Me gusta tu carro. Okay, so me, it pleases your car. I know that sounds weird in English, but that's how we do it in Spanish. That me gusta, me, it pleases me, your car. But that me has to go in front. So me gusta tu carro. All right, look at another example. This is the general structure. Now let's look at another example. She likes our house. All right, now let's think about this before we put it into Spanish. If she likes the house, in other words, it pleases her, right? Kind of reword it. It pleases her. The house pleases her. All right, ask yourself, to whom is that verb being done? It's being done to her, right? Okay, so which of those indirect object pronouns would indicate that it's done to her? Me, te, le, nos, os, or les. You probably just said it. It's le, right? So that's going to go in front of gusta. So le is our first word. Now, do I use gusta, gusto, gustas, gustamos, gustan? What do I use? Okay, well, the house is doing the verb, right? The house, it pleases her. So we know that it's used the same as the he and she form. So that's our second word, gusta, le gusta. To her, it pleases our house, nuestra casa. Now, while we're looking at this example, I want to just, sometimes it's good to step back and get kind of a summary thought. Here's a summary thought. If somebody likes something singular, you're going to use gusta. If somebody likes something plural, like houses or shoes or your socks, or I like those pants, something plural, and then we're going to use gustan. So when you're talking about objects, you're usually going to use either gusta or gustan. Singular gusta, plural gustan. Maybe that helps you kind of bring it down a little bit into focus. So we have le gusta nuestra casa. All right, let's keep going with a few more examples. We like sports. Okay, cool. Now, if we like sports, kind of reword this in our head. Sports what? Please us. Yeah, sports please us. Okay. So the verb is being done to who? Us. Okay. Which indirect object pronoun talks about verbs being done to us? You probably just said nos. I hope you did. Okay. So it's done to us. So nos is going to be our first word. All right, now sports, is that singular or plural? Obviously, it's plural. So are we going to use gusta or gustan? We're probably going to use gustan, right? Because gustan means they do something. So our first two words are nos gustan, and then at the end, we're just going to tag on what we're talking about. We know they please us. Oh, los deportes. They please us, the sports. Nos gustan los deportes. All right, so now we have a really good sentence. I want to give you another example quickly. They like the flowers. They like the flowers, all right? The flowers, reword it, please them, right? Okay, so if the flowers please them, who is the verb being done to? It's being done to them. Which indirect object pronoun indicates verbs are done to them? Les. I hope you just said les. Okay, so les, now flowers are plural, so am I going to use gusta or gustan? And I bet you just said gustan. So our first two words are les gustan, and then we just tag on what we're talking about, las flores. Les gustan las flores. All right. Now I want to do one more example that's a question now, okay? I'm talking to you, somebody my age, we're not using the respectful form, the tu form, and I want to ask you, do you like coffee? And if somebody asked me that, I'd say, oh yeah, every morning, got to have my coffee, right? So I want to ask you, do you like coffee? How am I going to ask that? I'm going to reword it and think, does coffee what? Please you. Okay, so I'm asking you, that verb is done to you, right? Okay, so what indirect object pronoun indicates that the verb is done to you? You probably just said te, all right? Is coffee singular or plural? It's singular, okay? So our first two words are te gusta, and then we just tag on what we're talking about. ¿Te gusta el café? And there you have it. Do you like coffee? ¿Te gusta el café? Now, just for fun of it, how would we answer? Yeah, I like coffee. See? It's done to me. And it's singular. Me gusta el café. Sí, me gusta el café. I like coffee. All right. Let's summarize very quickly, my friends, amigos. First of all, we want to determine who is that verb done to? Okay, is it me, te, le, nosos, les? That's our first word. Our second word is either going to be gusta or gustan. And then we're going to put that after that indirect object pronoun. And then at the end, we're going to tag what we're talking about, just like we've been doing in these examples in this episode. All right, now I encourage you to get those down, this general structure, and then bring in some other phrases. How could I use a phrase in Spanish that would use the other conjugations other than gusta and gustan? That's something you may want to go ahead and do a little research on, and then start bringing those into your conversation, all right? So you just got to remember, gustar doesn't mean like, it means please, and I'm going to use an indirect object pronoun, and I got it down. It's easy, muy fácil, ¿no? All right, my friends, mis amigos, I have enjoyed hanging out with you in this episode. Hey, jump onto the Teespring shop. Pick yourself up a Language Tutor coffee mug or a hoodie or a t-shirt. Get one of those nice amigos shirts because you guys are my amigos. And be sure to take a picture of it. Go to the Language Tutor Spanish Facebook page. There you go. And send me a picture of it. I'd love to see you wearing your Language Tutor gear or holding your coffee mug or whatever. I'd love to see it. Okay. Well, my friends, also jump on the Language Tutor Spanish podcast and practice with me on the go. I'll see you on the next episode. Hasta pronto. Friends, thanks for watching the Language Tutor. If you have a question for me, feel free to leave it in the comment section below the video. And please click subscribe and the notification bell so that you'll never miss any of our language lessons.